How you doing? Back again on a Mini Cooper S Supercharged 6-speed. Just doing a quick walk around on it. This one has the premium package with the xenon lights and the glass panoramic roof. You don't see too many of these. I mean, I haven't seen too many of these, the one that have the same color roof as the rest of the car. Sometimes they have a white roof, or they got the racing stripes on them. But this one's just you know, all silver. That's pretty clean. Just a few little minor dings on it, nothing too crazy. Handles amazing for a front-wheel drive car. You know, for being front-wheel drive, it handles very well. If you look at the back, you can see the rear wheels. The way they built the chassis of the car, they're wider than the front. It has a staggered look to it. It's pretty cool how BMW made it that way. But this car is very light. It's not too heavy. It's not the fastest car, but you know, it's not about how fast it is, really. I mean, it's just it's about having fun. It's a fun car. You know, it's really fun to drive for being front-wheel drive. You know, I'm an E36 guy, and I have an MR2, also mid-engine, and I had a Porsche Boxster before. You know, I had quite a few cars, but this is pretty amazing how they made this. I mean, there's no fender on this car. If you look here, it's all part of the hood. So when you lift the hood up, you know what I mean, there's not much to it. I mean, everything sits dead in the front there. It's not much to the car. I mean, it's, you know, it's pretty lightweight. Take a look inside. Yeah, the car just screams, you know, BMW. It's pretty crazy. I mean, look at the door hinges inside there. I mean, that just screams BMW right there. If you know BMWs like me, these hinges are like the E36 hinges on BMWs. Same hinge, door hinge, put on it. And even the doors sound like a BMW when you close it and open it. It's funny, because when you open up the rear cargo area, it sounds like an E36 trunk when you close it. It's pretty funny how, you know, I'm real, you know, I know everything about these BMWs, and I noticed the smallest little things that most people would never notice. Even the dash illumination's orange, just like typical on a typical BMW. You know, but yeah. So it's a 6-speed manual transmission. The clutch is very heavy on this car. I don't know. I never had one before this one, so I really don't know how it's supposed to feel, but it feels pretty heavy. I don't know, maybe you guys out there can tell me if it's supposed to be somewhat heavy. Like, you know, it feels pretty heavy on the when you press it. It feels pretty stiff, but it shifts perfect. It drives fine. You know, haven't had any issues or anything with it. I just did the spark plugs. Did some platinum plugs in there. Platinum spark plugs. I gotta do an oil change. Pretty easy to work on. It's not too bad. I mean, it's tight, but the spark plugs are easy to get to. They're right on the top of the engine. You know, it's easy to get to the spark plugs and the wires, but the water pump and stuff looks to be maybe a little bit more difficult. Pop the hood, take a look. There it is here. As you can see, they crammed everything in there. The radiator looks pretty easy to get to. It's right here in the front. I guess you would have to take this this shroud, that cover off. I'm sure you can get to it. But the motor mount's easy to get to. Your motor mount's right here. One motor mount, then you got your torque, upper torque mount, or whatever you would call that. And the spark plugs, like I said, are easy to get to. There's 4 of them, you know, 4-cylinder, right on top of the engine. Then you got your coil pack there, which is easy to get to. This has a new expansion tank, as you can see. That was replaced. They were known to go bad. Yeah, I'm not really too familiar with this car. I know a little bit about them. I haven't had one before, so I really don't know too much. And that alternator down there was replaced, and you know, it was serviced by Mainline Mini in Mainline, Pennsylvania. But the car was well kept. You know, all the maintenance was kept up with the oil changes and stuff. You know, stuff like that. But I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, you can see like the motor's like sits like, you know, right up in the front. I mean, it's amazing how this handles this well, because the engine's very far forward. I mean, you can see it. Like, you stand here on the side, you see that engine's like to the front of the wheels, almost like more towards the front. Some front wheel drives, they sit back a little bit more, but these strut tower here is behind the engine. It's way up in the front. It's amazing how they pack that in there like that. But it's pretty cool how they designed it. But the good thing is about this engine, I know it's a Chrysler motor, or a Dodge Chrysler Tri-Tech engine. The good thing is it's a time and chain, which is good to know. You don't have to worry about a belt breaking or snapping. I mean, I don't like timing belts. You know, I like BMWs. They always use time and chains. And like I said, Audi and stuff, I had an Audi S4, and like I said, you got to make sure all that's 100%, because, you know, you get a bad water pump, a bad water pump bearing goes or something like that, the whole timing belt's going to go. It'll just come flying off. So if one of the pulleys just decide to burn out, or one of the bearings go bad and they pop loose, forget it. The belt flies off. Those valves are going to hit the engine. I mean, the valves are going to hit the pistons and destroy the engine. So it's something to think about. Like when you buy a car, make sure. Definitely want to make sure that timing belt and all the tensioners and everything was, you know, maintained and stuff. People just drive the cars and don't actually do absolutely no maintenance to these whatsoever. They just drive them, and it's pretty crazy. But yeah, like I said, this does have a timing chain, which is good. Like I said, I'm not too familiar with the car. I just, you know a little bit here and there. You know, this is my first Mini Cooper, so, you know, like I said, I'm an E36 and an E46 guy, so, but just figured I'd do a quick walk around on it, and it's a pleasure to drive. It's fun. It is a fun car. You know, it does handle very well for being front wheel drive, like I said, but you know, it's all about having a good time, having fun with it. I mean, like I said, I had quite a few you know, fast cars in my past, but it's fun just to have a good time. I mean, it's not all about all the power and stuff, but, you know, but it's fun to have power too. But this car is light, so it's like you got the power to weight ratio on it, because it is light, so it moves fairly well. You know, it's not super fast, but it's quick. I mean, it does get around. And alright, so signing off now. Battery's about to die, so alright, take care, YouTube.